Neon lights pulsing beneath low-slung Hondas, fuzzy dice swinging over cassette decks, pop-up headlights winking in midnight parking lots. In the 80s and 90s, these car trends were the absolute height of cool. Now, they're more punchline than bragging, right? You're watching 15 car trends from the 80s and 90s that look ridiculous today. What made millions of teens and engineers chase glow, chrome, and plush interiors? Why did it all vanish almost overnight, facing bans and new safety laws? And could any of these wild looks ever return as retro icons? Let's take a joyride through the era when style mattered more than sense, and discover why these ridiculous trends refuse to disappear from memory. Neon underglow lights turned parking lots into glowing showrooms. In the early 1990s, Southern California car crews started wiring blue, green, and purple tubes beneath their lowered Civics and Integras. The effect was pure sci-fi. Cars looked like they were floating, glowing on a cushion of color. MTV and hip-hop videos picked up the trend, and soon, neon kits were everywhere from high school lots in Orange County to late-night meets in New Jersey. By 1993, VHS tapes from the Austin High Auto Club captured the scene. Teenagers circling their rides, the pavement pulsing with electric light. The look was bold, rebellious, and just a little bit illegal. Police in New Jersey cracked down hard in 1996, handing out tickets for aftermarket lighting and calling neon a safety hazard. Sales of underglow kits dropped by more than half after the crackdown, and states like California and New York followed with bans on red, blue, or flashing lights. Still, the memory of those glowing nights lingers. Today, TikTok car influencers experiment with LED strips, hinting at a possible comeback. Could neon underglow ever return to the mainstream, or is it destined to stay a retro punchline? Like and subscribe if you remember cars lighting up the street like a rolling rave. Fuzzy dice didn't start in the suburbs, but that's where they found a second life. By the late 1980s, every mall catalog seemed to offer a set, 2 foam cubes, joined by a string, ready to hang from any rearview mirror. The classic price, $4.99, or less if you caught a 2-for-1 sale at JCPenney. Originally a hot rod symbol from the 1950s, dice became a rite of passage for new teen drivers. Slipping a pair onto the mirror meant claiming a little piece of rebellion, even if your first car was a hand-me-down Taurus. Car magazines and yearbook photos from 1988 to 1992 show rows of Chevys and Fords, each one crowned with those soft, swinging cubes. Some drivers picked neon pink or tiger stripes, others stuck to classic white with black dots, a nod to the dice you'd see in old Vegas movies. The accessory was cheap, cheerful, and impossible to ignore. For parents, it was harmless fun. For teens, it was a badge of cool that didn't break the bank. Today, spotting fuzzy dice at a car show feels like finding a time capsule packed with dad jokes and retro charm. Like and subscribe if your first car rocked a pair of these. Which ridiculous car trend did you or your parents hang from the mirror in the 90s? Pop-up headlights turned cars into instant celebrities. In 1985, the DeLorean DMC-12 flashed its hidden beams on movie screens, promising a future where every car could wink at you. Mazda's RX-7 and Miata, the Ferrari 308, even the humble Pontiac Fiero, designers gave them pop-ups for that perfect blend of mystery and speed. The engineering was clever. Motors, gears, and switches tucked under the hood, ready to raise or lower those lamps at the touch of a button. For drivers, it felt like launching a gadget straight out of a spy movie. Kids in the back seat begged their parents to flip the lights just to watch them vanish. Car magazines from 1989 ran glossy spreads, calling pop-ups the ultimate in cool. But the magic came with a price. By the late 1990s, crash tests and safety studies started raising alarms. Mechanical failures left headlights stuck halfway, and new European rules demanded smoother, safer car fronts. According to Directive 2003/102/EC, automakers had to protect pedestrians with flush, energy-absorbing shapes, leaving pop-ups out in the cold. The last Corvette with pop-up headlights rolled off the line in 2004. Today, spotting a pair in traffic feels like seeing a rare animal in the wild. Some collectors still dream of a comeback, but for most drivers, pop-up headlights are a relic of an era when cars tried to outsmart the future. Could another gadget trend ever capture that same sense of wonder? Stick around for a look at the wildest car gadgets of the 80s and 90s. In the late 1980s, nothing said you had made it quite like a car phone bolted to the center console of your Buick or BMW. These weren't pocket devices, they were gray plastic bricks with curly cords mounted between the seats or tucked into armrests. According to a 1989 Cadillac brochure, adding a car phone could cost over $1,200, not including the monthly service plan. For executives and suburban parents alike, it was the ultimate status symbol. Car commercials from the era showed sharply dressed drivers closing million-dollar deals from the highway, one hand on the wheel, the other clutching a phone the size of a shoebox. Magazine ads promised instant access and business on the go, even if coverage faded the moment you left the city limits. By the early 1990s, car phones became shorthand for luxury and power. Just spotting the antenna on a rear window meant the driver was probably important. But technology moved fast. Smaller cell phones arrived, and by 1995, the once coveted car phone looked hopelessly outdated. Today, Bluetooth and touchscreens have turned in-car calls into background noise, while those old car phones seem more like museum pieces than tech. Could anyone have guessed that the ultimate 80s power move would end up as a punchline in retro car blogs? For a brief moment, though, nothing looked cooler than a car phone lighting up on your dash. Window decals in the 80s and 90s turned every family sedan into a rolling billboard for personal style. JCPenney's 1987 catalog offered pages of flame graphics, racing stripes, and tribal wraps. Some so bold they ended up on stretch limos in music videos. MTV's influence was everywhere. Video stylists plastered cars with neon stickers, checkerboard patterns, and oversized brand logos, hoping to catch the camera's eye. For teens and first-time drivers, decals were the cheapest way to stand out in a crowded parking lot. A $7.99 sticker pack promised instant street cred, even if your ride was a faded Buick Skylark. Catalog copywriters cranked out slogans like, "Transform your ride, mama," and "Make your car a superstar," and millions listened. Meanwhile, dashboard compass balls became the must-have accessory for every adventure dad in suburbia. Sold at Pep Boys and featured in late 80s car commercials, these plastic globes promised to guide you through any road trip, even if the only journey was to soccer practice. Most were powered by tiny magnets that spun wildly on rough roads, leaving drivers with more confusion than direction. Still, compass balls looked high-tech on a faux wood dashboard, and catalog sales spiked each holiday season. Both trends captured the era's love of cheap, instant personalization. Today, tribal decals and wobbly compass balls feel like relics from a time when creativity came in a plastic blister pack. Could dashboard gadgets ever make a real comeback? Or are we too attached to our GPS screens? Like and subscribe if you remember peeling off a sticker and hoping it wouldn't leave a mark. Fuzzy steering wheel covers promised pure comfort, but reality was a little less glamorous. Pep Boys ads from 1993 boasted over 1.2 million covers sold, offering everything from neon zebra stripes to shaggy faux fur. Catalogs called them luxury for your hands, but summer heat turned them sticky, and winter left them stiff as cardboard. High school parking lots and minivan interiors became showrooms for these plush rings, each one a magnet for lint and spilled soda. Cassette tape visor holders lined up next, straight out of the 1985 Sears holiday catalog. These plastic racks clipped above the windshield, holding up to 12 mixtapes, just enough for a family road trip or a solo DJ session. Teen drivers loaded theirs with homemade compilations, while parents filled them with "Now That's What I Call Music" and self-help cassettes. By 1992, JCPenney buyers called them the second most popular graduation gift after fuzzy dice. Today, visor holders look more like relics from a lost civilization than essential gear. Baby on board window signs swept the suburbs in 1984, fueled by safety campaigns and a wave of news stories. The yellow diamond promised to warn other drivers, but by 1992, NHTSA data found no proven link to safer roads. Parody signs soon followed: alien on board, mother-in-law on board, turning a sincere message into a punchline. Beaded seat covers rounded out the comfort craze. Taxi drivers swore by them for back pain relief, and catalog ads showed beads promising cool, massaging airflow. But NHTSA reviews in the 1990s linked these covers to higher rates of back injury and crashes. The beads faded from family cars and cabs alike, leaving just the memory of rattling rides and sore spines. Which ridiculous car comfort trend did your family try? Drop your answer in the comments. Spinner hubcaps took flash to a new level. Invented by James Gregg of Houston, the spinner hubcap got its official start with U.S. patent number 5,290,094, granted in March 1994. The secret was a bearing that let the decorative plate keep spinning even when the car stopped. Suddenly, every parking lot looked like a mobile carnival. By the late 1990s, SEMA trade shows featured custom rides with spinners that caught every eye, and MTV's Pimp My Ride made them a must-have for anyone chasing that over-the-top look. At the peak, industry reports clocked 2.5 million spinner hubcaps sold in a single season. The effect was hypnotic, wheels spinning in place while the car waited at a red light, drawing stares from all sides. Lowriders, SUVs, and even minivans joined the craze, with knockoff versions flooding auto parts stores. As fast as they spun onto the scene, they spun right out of style. Today, spinners are more likely to show up as memes than on the street. Meanwhile, dashboard bobbleheads bounced along to every pothole. Sports mascots, cartoon characters, and even Elvis found their way onto car dashboards in the 1990s. McDonald's and Nickelodeon ran promotions featuring collectible baubles. Kids begged for a new one with every Happy Meal or Saturday morning cartoon marathon. The more the head wobbled, the better. For a while, every drive felt like a parade. Now, both spinners and bobbleheads are pure retro kitsch. Could the next big thing be hiding in plain sight, just waiting for a new generation to rediscover the fun? Like and subscribe if you ever watched your wheels keep spinning after you parked. Car bras promised to keep your front end spotless, but the reality was a little messier. In the late 1980s, every auto catalog showed glossy sedans and sports coupes sporting black vinyl covers stretching from headlight to fender. The ads claimed protection from rocks, bugs, and road salt. Just snap it on and drive worry-free. But rumors spread fast at weekend car meets. Drivers whispered about paint turning hazy or peeling when the bra came off. Instruction sheets warned, remove and clean regularly, but not everyone followed the fine print. Enthusiasts swapped stories about ghostly outlines and trapped moisture, fueling an urban legend that someone tried to sue the makers after their paint blistered. No court case ever made headlines, but enough drivers found cloudy patches to make the myth stick. By the early 90s, most manufacturers quietly added even more disclaimers, shifting the blame to user error. The car bra faded from favor, remembered less for its protection than for the marks it left behind. Meanwhile, custom air fresheners turned every commute into a sensory adventure. The classic pine tree gave way to a wild lineup: cherry blast, new car scent, even donut and bubblegum. In 1993, MTV bumpers and car commercials featured hanging scents as part of the in-crowd look. Marketers pushed stronger, longer-lasting formulas, sometimes so powerful they could clear a room. Some drivers layered 2 or 3, hoping to mask gym bags or spilled fries, only to end up with a rolling fruit basket. For a while, picking the right scent was almost as important as picking the right mixtape. Today, the memory of overpowering air fresheners lingers. Proof that when it came to car trends, too much of a good thing was just enough. Velour interiors turned every drive into a plush adventure. In the mid-1980s, Chrysler ran TV ads showing families sinking into deep blue or burgundy seats, promising luxury without the leather price tag. The fabric was soft, almost sticky in summer, and perfect for trapping every crumb from a Happy Meal or spilled soda. JCPenney and Sears catalogs described velour as executive comfort, even if your car was a base model Dodge Aries. The look was everywhere. Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierras, Ford Tempos, even some minivans, each one upholstered like a living room sofa on wheels. For kids, the seats doubled as nap zones on long road trips. For parents, they were a magnet for dog hair and mystery stains. By the late 1990s, car magazines poked fun at the trend, calling velour the official fabric of after-school pickup lines. Today, designers at Hyundai and Fiat sometimes slip hints of retro velour into electric car concepts, hoping to capture a little of that old-school charm. But for most drivers, plush seats now mean memory foam or vegan leather, not a fuzzy bench that looks ready for a disco nap. Which color velour do you remember? Deep maroon, electric blue, or classic gray? Like and subscribe if your family car was basically a rolling couch. Pure comedy gold, but somehow we loved every mile. By 1996, New Jersey police issued hundreds of tickets for illegal neon underglow, and over 1.2 million fuzzy steering wheel covers had been sold nationwide. These numbers show just how far 1980s and 1990s car trends reached. From $4.99 fuzzy dice advertised in JCPenney catalogs to James Gragg's 1994 spinner hubcap patent, each fad reflected the era's bold style and optimism. Today, pop-up headlights are gone due to EU safety rules, and car phones have vanished thanks to smartphones. Yet some questions linger. Will neon lights or velour interiors ever truly return to mainstream car culture? What's clear is that these trends were shaped by MTV, catalog marketing, and teen drivers chasing individuality. Decades later, the evidence is everywhere. Old commercials, magazine ads, and family photos remind us how wild car fashion once was. They seemed cool at the time, but today, pure comedy gold, forever captured in the rearview mirror of automotive history.